Good morning, instructors. So today's question is, really it's a multiple guess statement because it's not really delivered as much as a question. Although you all know we call these things questions, right? Anytime we do a multiple guess, or some of you might say multiple choice because you think your students actually know the answers and are picking the most correct answer, when we all know it's really a multiple guess because that's really what they're doing, is guessing what the answer is. So here's a good multiple guess for you. I think that students are, let's find out, A, cherubs that will soak in every word that I say. B, let's go with idiots, depending on the day, of course. C, enrolled in my course because they are extremely interested in my subject. D, out to get me. E, my ego tells me C. Right? So let's run through that one more time. We'll give it to you a second time so you can get the answer. Here we go. I think that students are A, cherubs that will soak in every word that I say. B, let's go with idiots, depending on the day, of course. C, enrolled in my course because they are extremely interested in my subject. D, out to get me. E, my ego tells me C. Put the answer in the comments below, or if you have a different answer than one of these, feel free to write that answer in the comments below. We'd love to see what the discussion related to this ends up being. So as we all know, we live and breathe because we have students. So when we talk about some of these answers, like they are cherubs that will soak in every word that you say, there might actually be some students in your courses that are really there to learn your material in the way that you want them to learn your material. And they're active and they participate appropriately. They're not the one who raises their hand every time. They're also not the one who never raises their hand. They know how to participate in your discussions. They know how to interact with their peers. And they're genuinely interested in your subject. We love those students. The next set of students in letter B, where we say, let's try idiots, depending on the day, of course. That's because sometimes students frustrate the heck out of us, right? And so you just walk in, you're like, oh, another day of this group of students. We get it. So students, if you're actually watching these videos, if you want to make your teachers happy, don't be idiots. Come in and be active in class and be appropriately active. Don't take over the conversations or the discussions, but actively participate in those discussions. Anyway, instructors, C, enrolled in my course because they are extremely interested in my subject, right? We all want to believe that, but we also know that in the American higher educational system, students have to take classes they have zero interest in. Right? I'm not going to list those subjects because I don't feel like calling anybody specific out, but we know that there are courses on every single campus. It's partially due to the accreditation process. It's partially due to what are required for certain types of degrees, and students have to take classes they just are not interested in. Sometimes we get lucky and we're able to swing them into being interested because of how we present the material, right? Sometimes that actually happens. Many times we know that the students are just there, they just want to get their good grade, and they want to get out of there. And that's where it leads us to the answer D, where we say out to get me, because we also understand that when students are, and this is typically of students who are sort of marginal about the subject matter to not being interested at all, sometimes they feel entitled to their good grade because we know that grade inflation kind of happens in the K-12 system. And so they think that they should have their A's in college. And so it's really frustrating when they get a B, and it's infuriating to them when they get a C, and they just won't allow to get a D or an F, right? And so that's when we say students are out to get me. It's because sometimes those students will turn around and either start to kind of harass you about their grade, or they'll even go to your department chair or your dean to try to say that you have some reason on why you hate, oh, my teacher hates me. And then they're trying to set up the fact that their bad grade that they've actually earned. And students, you know, sometimes your grade of a F, D, C, and even B, you earned it. Sometimes they try to do what I'll call a preemptive strike and see if they can figure out a way to ensure that they don't get the grade that they don't want, even though that's what they earned, right? And then letter E, my ego tells me C, because in truth, many of us, if not all of us, want our students to be enrolled in our courses because they're actually interested in the subject that we have. So what do you all think about that? Type that in the comments below as well. So make sure you type in the answer that you feel like works there, or if you have another answer, type that in the comment below, and then let's have a little discussion about what I just talked about. So feel free to make those comments, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I shall see you in an upcoming video.